Okay, so here is my final project. I did this thing. I decided to title this work um, Meditations on the Macro World. So I went on a hike with a friend and we went up Spanish Fork Canyon to this hike called Fifth Water. It's like a hot springs hike. It's really nice. Um, I just took like my digital camera and a film camera with some like pink tinted film because I thought it'd be fun and I'd try it out. And so I just went up there and I took pictures of just like different close-up things. Like here's the bark on a tree, and you've got some like other stuff here. And then you've got like this one which is shot on film. This is just like the leaves on like a pine tree. You've got this here, which I'll talk more about that in a minute. Like here's a sign that was on one of the bridges. We've got this little Among Us guy right here. That was also on one of the bridges. And then you've got kind of just different ones. Like you see this one here, you see how it's like kind of like swirling around. I was able to achieve that effect. One, because with a normal lens, you can't focus this close on things. You have to use something like, I've got some here. You have to use these like extension tubes. And you basically put this between the lens and the camera, and it makes the lens further away from the camera so you can focus on really close up things. You lose the ability to focus on things further away than like a couple of inches, but when you're shooting a couple of inches away from your subject, that's all that matters. And then to kind of get that like swirling effect, I had to use like a special lens. So I have this lens here. This is like my favorite lens to shoot with. And when you stop it down and make it really wide like this, it produces kind of that like swirling effect, which I find to be desirable for a picture like, say, for example, this one. You've also got like this picture here of some like star moss. Oh yeah, and then here's one of a pine cone that I thought was really nice. Here's some tree bark. Then you've got something like this picture here. This was like the corner of a rock. And when you're focusing so close, you can only focus on just like the little tiny, like tiniest little plane. So what I had to do was, I can show you here in Photoshop, I had to take like all of these pictures, and they're all just like this close, and then a little bit closer, and then a little bit closer, and then a little bit closer, and a little bit closer, and you just keep getting closer and closer and closer. And that's kind of how you take these pictures, and then you stack all of the images together, and then it'll create something like this, where you have like a bunch of stacked, basically exposures together. That's why I did something like this, or even like this picture here. This one's maybe a little bit less stacked pictures, but it's still some kind of stacked together. You can see how many pictures there is over there. Then if we go back, some other notably good ones that I took was, I have this like, I found this nice piece of like bark just on the ground that had like, the tunnels from like the, bugs digging in there, and I thought that was just like really cool. And then to get all these pictures of like moss and lichen, we were going down the trail, and my friend just saw this giant rock that just had moss growing on it, and we're like, we gotta go take a picture of that. And so we went and we took pictures of that, and I'm sure he got some great pictures. I haven't seen his pictures yet, but like, you've got the lichen here and the moss, or you've got, I think I had a better one of that somewhere in this gallery. Oh yeah, right here. Here's a better one of kind of a similar spot, where you've got the lichen growing in like a symbiotic relationship with the moss. Or like here, this one, with this picture, I tried to use like, I just kind of centered the subject in the middle of the frame, because, for something small like that, where the subject's really big, that works great. Or like over here, I kind of tried to use almost like the rule of thirds. You can kind of see, like, I don't have an overlay for it, but like there's a line here, and this is the line that I placed it on. But I also tried to use like the golden ratio kind of spiral, so that this kind of follows almost like a golden ratio spiral with this piece of this branch from, you know, a tree. And then like also there's this one here where you got some like lichen growing on a rock with some moss. And then here I kind of like got like a little artist statement kind of about the gallery. And yeah, that's my final.